Hello guys and welcome back to another FPL video. Today I'm going to showcase to you my team selection for the upcoming Game Week 3. Game Week 2 is behind us and my team is doing better than expected, to be fair, with the absence of so many great players. I thought that it was going to be way harder, but at the moment I'm managing to survive. What is my team? I'm only playing with World Cup winning nations players. So players from Uruguay, Italy, Germany, Brazil, England, Argentina, France, and Spain are the only 8 nations that I can pick players from. So someone as Semenyo, who is doing well, he's the player that is doing well. I cannot get. Player like a Timber I cannot get, so his attacking returns I cannot get them. So you get the idea. But players like Ekitike, who's doing well, is directly in my team. Firstly, we're going to showcase to you my Game Week 2 results, and then we're going to see how my team is setting up for Game Week 3, because I have a lot of issues to resolve, and I still have no idea how I'm going to resolve them, but down the road I will try to find something. We are still waiting for some team news, so all in all, I think we have the situation for wait and see, and we'll wait and we will see. So this is how my team did in Game Week 2 from 3.1 M to 3.7 M. It's a red arrow, but with 50 points I couldn't expect more. Ryan Go, another clean sheet and another stellar performance by Arsenal. Thankfully, he has kept 2 clean sheets in a row for my team, and that has helped me a lot into gaining some important points. For example, Pickford with his 15 points, it's already a higher scorer, but I couldn't have predicted that he will keep a clean sheet, not only a clean sheet, but to save a penalty to get the 3 points. So Raya is doing an amazing job. Romero was my first option on the bench, and he came on for Palmer and he scored 7 points, so I think he did all right. Sadly, I think that Palmer in the game against West Ham would have done more, but we will get into that in a second. But yeah, Romero, 7 points, more the better, I would say. Cucurella, 5-pointer, an assist, a stupid goal conceded, but still an assist counts, and 5 points from Cucurella, a second return in a row, so I'm pretty happy with my 6.0 defender. Murillo and Lacroix faced off against each other. 3 points for Lacroix and 1 point for Murillo. Murillo would have been very close to an assist, but Igor Jesus missed a chance and he hit the bar. That would have dropped Lacroix's points to 2, but would have increased Murillo's points to 4. So I would have been on a 2 points plus overall, but it didn't happen. So 1 point for Murillo, 3 from Lacroix. Lacroix got the defensive contributions and a yellow card, while Murillo got yellow card, and that's it. So Romero, Murillo, and Lacroix that week picked yellow cards, which dropped their points by a lot, and Romero could have been on a bonus point if he hadn't received a yellow card. So all in all, those yellow cards screwed me over, and I think I would have been on a grey arrow without them, because neither Lacroix nor Romero are very highly owned, and Murillo, even though he's highly owned, I think that it's not that much around my rank. So those yellow cards in general screwed my green arrow when I even have such a bad performance up front. In midfield, I did a transfer Wirtz to Cunha, because I thought, why the hell I shouldn't trust Cunha, and to be fair, he hit the post and he missed a one-on-one sitter. So if everything was as expected, he would have been on a massive haul, and now he would have been a very, very popular choice. I think that he's very popular with so many injuries that are looming around our sides, but I think that scoring against Fulham would have been better for my rank, as it would have been a differential pick to get the points from. My captain Saka scored a goal, but he left the field in the 50th minute and now he is injured. So he is one extra issue to think about in my side. Sadly, there are a lot of other issues that I need to resolve, but we will discuss them in the team selection portion. 12 points, at least it's not a blank. At least it's not a blank. Not the best captain to pick for my side, but it could have been way, way worse. Rodgers, another 2 points. Pretty disappointed with Aston Villa's performance. The same can be said about Watkins. 2-pointer, very, very sad. I think that they are not that good at the moment, but their fixture run on the horizon is amazing. And with so many injuries, I cannot bring myself to sell them at all. Krupi Jr. 1 pointer because Jorginho Ruter was injured. At least it's a point. It could have been way worse with 0 or with something like that. Ekitike, the star of my attack, once again 9 pointer, 1 goal and 3 bonus, more than you can want from your forward. Another week, another return for him, so I'm happy that I own him. On my bench, Bentley, a non-playing keeper, so yeah, you understand the situation. Konsa, 0 points because he was suspended. At least he would have been on 2 points if he was against Brentford. It would have been better than Krupi Jr., but sadly he didn't play at all. Palmer started the warm-up and he got an injury. What can I say? In a game where they scored 5 goals with most of the chances coming from the right side, he would have been so good in that game. Yes, many of the people around me captained him, but still he would have been a good pick for me. And would have been better than Krupi Jr., obviously. And Jorginho Ruter, he picked up an injury on the final training before the game. I don't know what's the situation there. They still have a Carabao Cup to play tonight at the time of recording, so we will know what's the situation with him. But for now, he is another player to monitor. Sadly, the arrow is red, but that means that we have a lot of room for green arrows, and with proper planning and with proper transfers, I think that we can get some good green arrows on into my team. Let's see how my team is doing, and we'll see what we can adjust and what we can do. So starting to build my team for game week 3, I have 1 free transfer and 1 million in the bank. I don't think that 1 million will be very helpful for me because I have a lot of money already in my squad, but we'll see how it goes. Raya against Liverpool, not an optimal fixture for my goalkeeper, but at the end of the day, he's my last issue that I need to think about at the moment. He has been doing so far great. I think that he can rack up a save or 2. I think that Liverpool will score some goals, but at the end of the day, every team concedes a goal and I cannot expect 38 clean sheets. So at 5.5 and with a good fixture run on the horizon, I think that keeping Raya is going to be great. Bentley is a non-playing keeper, so I don't think I need to consider him at all. Here, the discussion was going to be, should I activate my wildcard? And when I looked at my team, I was going to replace 3 or 4 players. Basically, I'm very happy with my defense, bar 1 player. Okay, let bar 2 players, but I can live with it, and they have a good fixture run on the horizon. In midfield, yes, I have issues. You're going to see them in a moment. But up front, I like my 2 forwards that are here, so yeah, we'll discuss later on the wildcard, but the goalkeeper is not something that is going to trigger my wildcard. Liverpool away, as mentioned, not ideal, but he can rack up some save points as Liverpool will be heavily attacking, especially at home, so we'll see what will happen. But Raya, safe to say that I'm happy with my keeper choice, and further down the road, I think it will pay off keeping Raya for the long run. In defense, I'm starting with 4 defenders. This is not something that I would enjoy to do, but it's something that I must do. Starting with Cucurella, I think he was going to play either way. He has already risen in price, so that's a good thing for my side. Fulham at home, 6.1, great player to own. He has paid very good dividends so far, and he plays for a very solid side. I think when Gusto plays instead of Reece James, his output is limited. But is Gusto going to play every game instead of Reece James? We don't know that. If Reece plays, he stays a little further deep and Cucurella bombards forward. But when it's Gusto, Gusto is running up front and Cucurella is staying to cover. But still with that performance, he still manages to get an assist because he's there for corners. And I think that he can score even from every set piece. So I like having Cucurella in my side, and I don't think this is a player that I need to focus on changing. He has done very well so far. Muriel is the next defender at 5.5. He has been utterly disappointing. I would not lie. West Ham at home, as I mentioned, is a good game, so I'm keeping him. If I started with Tarkovsky instead of him, I would have been on a green arrow this week, and I would have been better last week, but yeah, it happens. Murillo was the DEFCON machine from Forest side. He hasn't reached 5, I think, in both of the games. So he doesn't have 10 overall. So that's a pretty bad thing. But against West Ham, I expect this to happen. Forest defensively have surprised me a lot. They have been atrocious. They conceded in both games and they haven't changed anyone in that defense. So let them get the hang of it and start keeping some clean sheets, or at least get some defensive contributions, what I was thinking Mourinho will do regularly. Another player that I got for defensive contributions but does it regularly is Lacroix. Aston Villa away, not ideal, especially when I own two Aston Villa attackers, but even if he concedes 3-4 goals, if he gets defensive contributions, I'll be happy with his output. Maybe an out goal here and there will help down the line. And he's very big threat from set piece, so I like having him in my side. Romero is the final defender here against Bournemouth. Once again, not an ideal fixture, but Romero is the only player from Spurs from last game that got the defensive contributions against City, and a clean sheet / defensive contribution here will do me wonders. Of course, if he decides to score a goal, I'm not going to say no, but I got him for the clean sheet potential that Spurs have been showing so far, keeping 2 clean sheets, and I think they and Arsenal are the only 2 sides with 2 clean sheets. I cannot think of another side, so that's a good sign. 2 clean sheets in 2 games. Of course, that will not repeat itself regularly, but for the time being, I'm happy to own a Spurs defender. My first bench option is a playing player, which is a good thing. That's Konsa against Crystal Palace. Once again, my defenders facing off against each other. But if I'm put on the line and I need to play my defenders, believe me, I'm going to do it. Crystal Palace at home, not an ideal fixture, but you never know with defenders. I thought that City away was not ideal for Spurs, but they kept a clean sheet, so yeah, you never know what will happen. So I have an option coming from my bench, and I think that I might use it. We'll think about different players in different situations that can help me, but for now I think that I can use that benching option. The issue is that if I use it, there isn't a player of my bench that's going to help, but you'll see in a second what I mean. My midfield looks like that, and as you can see, there are 3 big yellow signs. Palmer, Jorginho and Saka are all injured. Saka, already there is a report that he's not going to play for the next 4 weeks, so he's a prime candidate to leave my side. Sadly, he was going to remain in the side and I was going to keep him against Liverpool because Liverpool are conceding for fun and I'm a little bit now lost what I will have to do. There are several options. Firstly, Odegaard is also injured from Arsenal and I'm really tempted to bring in Eze. I think that Eze in that situation will do good. Not amazingly well, but good, because Gyökeres is the prime target that everyone will get and I cannot get him. Next up, it is going to be Rice. Rice is an option that I might consider because Rice has provided 2 assists already and he's on some set pieces now that Saka is missing. So Rice is a very prime candidate to join the side, but Eze is more exciting. But am I here for exciting or am I here for stability? I'm yet to understand. The thing is that I have 1 million in the bank, so if I sell Saka to Rice, that will become 4.5 million in the bank, which is a lot of money and I will not know what to do with it, and I will have a lot of cheap assets in my side. But yeah, Rice is one of the options to replace Saka and I might like going for Rice. He's not good for defensive contributions, but he is good for scoring some goals. He's good now for set piece. Now with Eze joining the side, Eze might take the same set pieces that Saka has taken. But when Odegaard comes back into the side and when Saka comes back into the side, Eze is pushed to the left because I think he will be used as an attacking midfielder if Odegaard is injured as well. But there is still Madueke, there is still Martinelli, there is still Trossard. There isn't anyone that's replacing Declan Rice, and let's be real, I like that. The thing is, bringing another Arsenal asset will limit my defensive options for game week 6 onwards, but am I too set to bringing defensive options? Probably not. I would survive with only 1 defender if I have Rice and Saka, the 2 set pieces. When I return Saka back, I have the 2 set piece takers, so I'm pretty happy. But yeah, Rice, 2 assists, 2 clean sheets, so he was delivering 6 points and 6 points. That's more than Mohamed Salah and Saka. So yeah, I like that. Am I going to do it? Probably not, but we'll have a lot of time to deliberate, especially against Liverpool. But let's be fair, Liverpool are conceding goals for fun and Arsenal are scoring some goals, and in that game a set piece is going to probably be the main threat for Arsenal, and if Rice is taking most of the set pieces, I think that I would like to have Rice in my side. Palmer, I'm waiting to see what will happen, because I'm expecting him to be fit for game week 4, which is important, because why should I do a transfer if he's fit for game week 4 for him? I will just use him and that will be enough. And with Jorginho, I'm waiting to see. Manchester City at home is not ideal and Brighton have been struggling, but Brighton generated a lot of chances against Everton. They couldn't convert them. If they have a similar amount of chances against City, and they tend to play well against City, and Jorginho is fit, I will just keep him. And what I will do is I will put Palmer on the bench and put the replacement of Saka onto the field, because I'm doing a transfer for Saka. I'm not waiting 3 weeks for him to return, and when he returns, is he going to be in a good form? Yeah, all those questions need some answers. I'll be waiting to hear from Arteta, but he has been one of the most unreliable people to give you some updates. So at the end of the day, I'm in a dilemma what to do. Cunha, Burnley at home, he is a very good asset. That's why I brought him into my side. But I did it way too early. In hindsight, if I knew that there were going to be issues, I would have kept my transfer. Oh, I would have done it for the player that would get the issues like Palmer. But nonetheless, Cunha was a early transfer that I will not do anymore. I will just keep him. And I will be really patient with my side. Burnley at home, good fixture to keep him. And Crystal Palace at home for Rodgers. After that, it's a good run of Everton, Sunderland, a tough opposition, and then Burnley. So yeah, I'm not bringing out my Aston Villa assets on that note. So yeah, midfield issues, a lot of them. I'm contemplating Declan Rice, as I cannot afford Semenyo, I cannot afford Mbeumo to be picked, I cannot afford Gakpo to be picked, I cannot afford Fernandes to be picked. So I'm basically in a predicament, and Gordon got sent off. He was going to be my main man. Yeah, another option for me to bring is someone like Harvey Barnes, but when I bring him and when they bring an attacker like Strand Larsen or Wissa, and Gordon is back, Harvey Barnes is out of the side. So I'm basically bringing a player that will be taken out sooner rather than later. But in hindsight, I may need a player that I need to take out earlier, because I'm looking for game week 6 and I want some City assets, and probably Harvey Barnes is going to be the place where I do it. So Harvey Barnes or Declan Rice, it's going to be my decision. Probably Barnes for the fixtures will be the play. I don't want to be without an Arsenal attacker, but honestly, Declan Rice is not that inspiring. On the other side, Eze is very inspiring. And if he can start converting those shots, and he will get into more and more dangerous opportunities, and he can provide to, what's his name, to Gyökeres. Yeah, I'm in a predicament, but I want to see first Eze how he plays, and then I will jump on it. So Harvey Barnes is probably the target that I will be looking to get. But of course, more time to decide, more time to see, and we'll know. If Jorginho is fit, I can do Harvey Barnes, and I'll be happy with Cunha, Jorginho, Rodgers, and Barnes. So yeah, that sounds like a very weak midfield when you see my front line, but it is what it is. With the restrictions that I've put on myself, it's very hard to pick some of the players. Last but not least is the forward line, and Crystal Palace at home and Arsenal at home are not two very inspiring fixtures. And Kruppi Jr. Spurs away, it's not someone that I want to see onto my field, because with time passing by, I think that his time will be reduced. My captain for this week is going to be Cunha, but I'm looking into taking a hit. That's another option that I've considered, and I want to bring in Mateta or Joao Pedro. The thing with Joao Pedro is that he's on penalties for game week 3 when they face Fulham. That's it. After that, Palmer will return right into the side, and he's once again on penalties. And I'll have 3 Chelsea assets, and that's not something that I want to have at that particular moment. In hindsight, it was a mistake to start with Rodgers instead of Joao Pedro. because Joao Pedro with his 15 points is already 13 points, okay, 12 points ahead of Rodgers in the pecking order. So yeah, it was not a good move. And he seems to be nailed, especially with Palmer being out of the side. He turns to play 90 minutes week in and week out. The thing with Joao Pedro is that he will flew to Brazil right now after the game week 3, and last time around when he returned from international break he got an injury, and bringing a South American player before an international break, I know that it sounds like I'm following some bad omens and etc, and I'm superstitious, but they tend to get some injuries. So yeah, and the flight is very big. I already have Murillo, Romero and Cunha in my side that are South Americans, so bringing another one, it's another risk that I'm not willing to take. Another option is to bring in Mateta, and to be fair, Aston Villa have conceded a lot of goals, and Mateta then have Sunderland and I think West Ham. So yeah, it's going to be a very good. Yeah, maybe it's West Ham. I forgotten about it, but yeah, Mateta is someone that I may want to have in my side. So yeah, I'm considering if Jorginho is injured, of course, either to play a 5-3-2, which is not something that I want, or just bring in Barnes and Mateta and have some good game week 4 and 5 players as well, and not to think about those weeks because Cunha will have a hard fixture. If I bring Arsenal, they have Forest and City, so it's still a bad fixture run. So yeah, Barnes and Mateta are two players that I'm looking to bring. For a hit at this point of the season, maybe a wild card is smarter, but I like Lacroix, I like Cucurella, I like Romero, I like Konsa for the fixtures, I like Ryan Go, I like Cunha, I like to have Rodgers, I like to have Watkins, I like to have Ekitike, I like to have, that's it. So 9 players I like to have. What I'll do is Krupi Jr. will become Mateta, one transfer, then Jorginho will become Barnes. I will do that already. I want to have, who will I get instead of Palmer? Probably Declan Rice, which is not that inspiring. Then in defense, who I'm getting instead of Murillo, it's Tarkovsky, which is basically a side transfer. So at the end of the day, I don't fancy those moves that much. I prefer to have my chips intact and maybe taking a hit. It's not optimal, and if Jorginho is playing, believe me, I'm not taking a hit. I will be relying on Konsa as my first bench option. Palmer will be on the side for the off chance he plays, and I will just replace a defender, so I'll take out Lacroix from the side. But yeah, probably Lacroix will come in and I'll have Konsa to cover. And Krupi Jr. with his 1 point, it's still a 1 point, and it's better to lose. Basically, I'm losing 3 points if I do that, and Mateta blank, so I'm losing 2 points on that. 3 points, yeah, because Krupi will deliver 1 point. So yeah, I'm basically losing 3 points. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed that dilemma and tinkering. Probably Harvey Barnes is going to join my side instead of Saka. I know that this is not a very inspiring transfer, but he's playing, as I don't see who else will play. Probably Usula will start instead of Gordon, now that Gordon is suspended, and Newcastle are still in the market for a forward. But even if they find it, I think that Harvey Barnes have proven himself to deliver some great points, and to start the week with him, I will monitor his minutes, of course, but yeah, probably I will take the risk as Elanga is the prime target from there, but I cannot afford Elanga as he's Swedish, and that's the story of my life at the moment. Selling Krupi Jr. instead of either of them is not going to work out because I don't like anyone at 5.5 at the moment. So yeah, I'm just going to sell Saka and see what happens. Join me on the deadline stream. We'll discuss all of those things there. But for now, that's going to be it, guys. Thank you once again for watching. Subscribe, like, join the mini league. Suggest me your issues. Give me your issues. Suggest me some transfers. Suggest me some solutions. All of your help is very much appreciated. But for now, guys, I'll be heading out. Bye.